Bernard, great reception. It's good to see Andy Lee back on these shores.
It really is. It's great to see him. You know, you asked me 5-6 years ago who the best middleweight we had in the country. Without there was Andy Lee. Matthew Macklin has surpassed him now. But Lee has got, I suppose, a fresh team around him who's going to kind of, I suppose, instill new skills and tactics in him.
Glenn, where do you rate him amongst our domestic crop?
You know, we are spoiled for talent, aren't we, in the middleweight division? I mean, they're all very, very good. He's got a lot to prove, Andy. I mean, he's been built up. He's done very, very well. Remember, he's gone through a very tough time. You know, he's lost his mentor, a father figure in Emmanuel Stewart. He's coming off that loss. So this is a big, big night for him. And, you know, hopefully he's got Dole and he'll come to go on with the likes of Barker, Murray, Macklin. But he can well fit in with that for a brilliant division.
You mentioned his boxing education there under Emmanuel Stewart. It
doesn't come any better, does it?
Doesn't get any better, does it?
No, it was fantastic for him. But I think it kind of also stalled him a wee bit. You know, he was brought away, he was training with the Klitschkos, he was sparring with the Klitschkos, and I don't think that really did him any good. I don't think it helped his career move forward. I think it slowed him down. He was working with heavyweights. He needed to be working with middleweight guys. He needed to be getting fast. He needed to be working with guys who are going to improve him. I don't think the Klitschkos were helping that way.
I think this is good because he's now put in centre stage.
Yes.
Where he was held back before, wasn't he? So I think this is a time for him to shine.
All Irish clash. What sort of test does Anthony Fitzgerald bring? Dublin away, yourself.
To be honest, you know, it's Andy Fitzgerald's worked hard to get to where he is. He has called out every big name he could to try and get himself noticed. Andy Lee's that big name that he's got handed. Can he handle Andy Lee? I don't think so. If Andy Lee can't, no disrespect to Anthony, if Andy Lee can't put him away within 3 or 4 rounds, there's got to be questions kind of asked.
Wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. Boxing back in Belfast, a real fight city. Sit back, enjoy the action in stunning high definition. Your commentators, Nick Halling and Jim Watt, but first our MC, John McDonald.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring, Andy Lee.
Well, this is interesting, isn't it? It's being billed as a bit of a homecoming for Andy Lee, now based on this side of the Atlantic after so many years under the late, great Emmanuel Stewart. He's never actually boxed in Belfast. This is his debut here in this city. And it's Anthony Fitzgerald, the opponent, that has brought a loud and very vocal support group with him. There were actually a few boos when Andy Lee got announced. I don't think that's going to faze him one little bit, but it'll be so interesting, Jim, over the next few months and years to see how Andy Lee fits into what is a fascinating domestic middleweight scene.
Yeah, it's a tremendous division over here, but I'm sure Andy will be looking above the domestic level. I mean, he showed he was genuine world class last time out against Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. just looked far too big for him. I think he was probably a victim of the 24 hours in advance weigh-in, but the fact he was ahead in points when the finish came proves he can compete at that level. So I mean, this should be a workout for him, but you can't treat any fight like that.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live at the Odyssey Arena, Belfast. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Sport proudly presents Betfair's Unfinished Business, a night of championship boxing. Coming to you live here on Sky Sports HD. It's Fight Night Live! All sponsored by Betfair. Don't settle for less. The Boxing News and Hastings Hotel. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. All present here at ringside. Supervisor John Williamson. Area Secretary is John Campbell. Our Chief Inspector is Mr. Hugh Russell. Inspectors Maurice Cunningham, Paddy Maguire, Wayne Hutton, Thomas Nichol, Jim Gamble, Billy McCrory and Martin Quinn. And our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Malik, has appointed Dr. Nutt, Dr. Lindsay and Dr. Massey. And so, let's get the action underway. 10 rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing to you firstly, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the sky blue trunks trimmed with dark blue and weighed in at 11 stone. 17 fight record, 13 wins, 4 inside the scheduled distance, 3 defeats and 1 no contest. Coming to the ring from Dublin, it's Anthony Fighting out of the blue corner wearing the red trunks trimmed with gold. Weighed in 11 stone, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. A 35 record, 28 wins, 20 inside the scheduled distance, and just 2 defeats. Coming to the ring as a former world title challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, from Limerick, Andy Lee. Our timekeeper at the bell from Hillsborough is Mr. Dow Elliott. Referee in charge from Fleetwood is Mr. Steve Gray, and this is 10 3-minute rounds.
Okay, boys, if a cold break, you must take 1 step back. Don't let any punches go around the back of the head, and make sure you protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, boys.
Well, the perception around ringside is that although it's scheduled for 10, it's probably not going to go 10. We'll have to wait and see. Andy Lee, very much a world-class operator. Remember, last June he was up against Chavez. Before he was stopped at the halfway point, he was ahead on all 3 cards. He just ran out of gas against a much bigger opponent on the night in what was a very small ring in El Paso, so that gives you an indication of the size of the task ahead for Anthony Fitzgerald. The Dubliner is up against a guy who has operated successfully at a very high level for a number of years, has boxed for a world title and still has a top 10 ranking with the WBA and WBC. But Fitzgerald obviously coming out as if to say, well, I've got nothing to lose, let's go and give it a go here.
Yeah, well, it's important that Lee takes this fight seriously, because this is a huge opportunity for Anthony Fitzgerald, and you can see the way he's started, watching his mind. He's trying to create early damage, get right onto Lee's case and stay there. So Lee has to keep nice and sharp. He wants to put some snap into that southpaw jab. This is going to be lively as long as it lasts.
It certainly is. And Fitzgerald not without any hope at all. His best result was a stoppage of Afif Belgachan, who he stopped a couple of years ago. The Frenchman had been the distance with Darren Barker over 12 rounds for the European title, and had gone the distance with Andy Lee over 10 as well. So that was a terrific result. A little shake of the head there from Fitzgerald, as if to say, you didn't bother me there. Certainly not overawed by his opponent's reputation here, Fitzgerald.
Now, Lee is counter-punching at the start of the opening round here, but I think as soon as he can, he's going to have to start getting his body weight forward and back this fellow up, because all the danger from Fitzgerald is when he's coming forward. I know it's early days, but really he wants to try to claim the centre of the ring, Lee, as soon as he possibly can. But I think already he's realised how serious this is going to be.
Dug in a nice left to the body there at the start of that attack, Andy Lee. Just trying to get the jab going. Just slow Fitzgerald's pace down a little bit. Fitzgerald, with these supporters behind him, certainly prepared to give it a go here. Just covering up there as Lee looked to land a wide right hand.
Yeah, well, Fitzgerald's really fired up, so you have to expect any success he's going to find it's going to be early. I mean, he's walking onto punches, he's walking onto solid punches. But he's probably got the right idea. High defence and march forward. Just get the punches off whenever you get in range. Nothing too technical. This is good from him.
It's as good as it gets for Fitzgerald. So he looks to land another one of those left hands. He's dug it in with some success to the body already. Well, he's certainly come to give it a go, which is good to see. A little warning from Steve Gray for the Dublin man. Covering up again.
Yeah, Lee's boxing nicely now, but he's still drawing the leads where I feel he should be pushing this fellow back. He should be meeting him head on as opposed to be backing off. Just kind of untidy stuff there from Fitzgerald.
This is Acid House Anthems. 50 legendary tracks. One essential album. Acid House Anthems. Download now from iTunes.
Because you're bringing him steady, then punish him, then let him guess where the next one's coming from. And when he comes close to you, just go to your inside flank.
Well, we had to expect Fitzgerald to be fired up. Taking a lot of chances, but not really making any real impression. Good effort though.
Seconds out, round 2.
Round 2 of this 10-rounder. Andy Lee in the red. Now based on this side of the Atlantic after so many years boxing out of the Kronk gym in Detroit under his mentor Emmanuel Stewart. Now working with Adam Booth out of his South London gym. Booth, the mastermind behind David Hay, George Groves. And Lee would have taken his time to make sure he found the right trainer for him. And Booth just doesn't take on anybody either. So time will tell if it's a good partnership. It really is based on this side of the Atlantic now, Lee, as well. He lives in Finsbury Park in North London. Big swinging right hand from Fitzgerald, blocked off. But he keeps the assault going, and Lee under no pressure at all. And smoothly moves off the ropes.
Well, maybe he realises, you know, that the storm will blow over within a round or two. But being that he wants to make good impressions over here, Lee, I think his tactics, and now that's better. That's what he should be doing, digging punches in with a little bit of spike. He should also be trying to move it body weight forward. Now this is better. These are quality punches he's letting go now.
Yeah, those lefts to the body look hurtful punches. And Fitzgerald looks wide open to him as well. He's going to try and get the southpaw jab working with it as well. Fitzgerald certainly isn't making life difficult in terms of finding it. He's giving it everything he's got here, Fitzgerald.
Yep, you have to hand it to him. He's playing his part here. He couldn't put any more into this, but there you go, the cultured punches again coming from Lee. He's using his experience. So just taking his time and happy to do that.
He's countered with the left as well, straight through. Fitzgerald so far has taken everything Lee has thrown at him. Drawing the leads is proving no problem for Andy Lee at all, because Fitzgerald is happy to just go in and tee off. Just to spin it on its head. I mean, Fitzgerald has nothing to lose here. If he does lose, everyone will say, well, okay, he lost to Andy Lee, we expected that. If he can put some pressure on and spring an upset, or even just put in a good effort, it could stand him in good stead.
Yeah, well, he couldn't be putting any more into this. I think the punch probably Lee. See, I think Lee is allowing this fellow just too much momentum. He's allowing him to come forward and get these punches off. Really, he should be coming off of those ropes, trying to meet him head on and push him back. I think he's just making this job tougher for himself than it needs to be.
And twice in this fight already, Lee has looked to referee Steve Gray as if to say, come on, step in.
Because you're bringing him steady, then punish him, then let him guess where the next one's coming from. And when he comes close to you, just go for your inside flank.
Well, we had to expect Fitzgerald to be fired up. Taking a lot of chances, but not really making any real impression. Good effort though.
Seconds out, round 2.
Round 2 of this 10-rounder. Andy Lee in the red. Now based on this side of the Atlantic after so many years boxing out of the Kronk gym in Detroit under his mentor Emmanuel Stewart. Now working with Adam Booth out of his South London gym. Booth, the mastermind behind David Hay, George Groves. And Lee would have taken his time to make sure he found the right trainer for him. And Booth just doesn't take on anybody either. So time will tell if it's a good partnership. And really is based on this side of the Atlantic now, Lee, as well. He lives in Finsbury Park in North London. Big swinging right hand from Fitzgerald, blocked off. But he keeps the assault going, and Lee under no pressure at all. And smoothly moves off the ropes.
Well, maybe he realises, you know, that the storm will blow over within a round or two. But being that he wants to make good impressions over here, Lee. I think his tactics, now that's better, that's what he should be doing, digging punches in with a little bit of spike. He should also be trying to move it body weight forward. Now this is better. These are quality punches he's letting go now.
Yeah, those lefts to the body look hurtful punches. And Fitzgerald looks wide open to him as well. He's going to try and get the southpaw jab working with it as well. Fitzgerald certainly isn't making life difficult in terms of finding him. He's giving it everything he's got here, Fitzgerald.
Yep, you have to hand it to him. He's playing his part here. He couldn't put any more into this, but then you go the cultured punches again coming from Lee. He's using his experience. So just taking his time and happy to do that.
He's kicked it with the left as well, straight through. Fitzgerald so far has taken everything Lee has thrown at him. Drawing the leads is proving no problem for Andy Lee at all, because Fitzgerald is happy to just go in and tee off. To spin it on its head, I mean, Fitzgerald has nothing to lose here. If he does lose, everyone will say, well, okay, he's lost to Andy Lee, we expected that. If he can put some pressure on and spring an upset, or even just put in a good effort, it could stand him in good stead.
Yeah, well, he couldn't be putting any more into this. I think that the punch probably Lee. See, I think Lee is allowing this fellow just too much momentum. He's allowing him to come forward and get these punches off. Really, he should be coming off of those ropes, trying to meet him head on and push him back. I think he's just making this job tougher for himself, and it needs to be.
And twice in this fight already, Lee has looked to referee Steve Gray as if to say, come on, step in.
Comfortable flow with that turn on the inside.
2 rounds in the bank, plenty to come. Tony Bellew amongst our tweeters today. Andy Lee is a big middleweight. He's been sparring with Fitzgerald as well. So if Tony Bellew says you're tough, you are tough. And Jack Orr saying, well, he's got the skills to be mixing it with the big beasts of the British scene. Darren Barker, who really is back. Matthew Macklin is doing a lot of work on the other side of the Atlantic. And of course, Martin Murray. That's just ruled a slip. Murray, of course, gets his big chance in Argentina in a few weeks' time, his second opportunity. Good luck with that one against Sergio Martinez. And Lee will be fascinating to see where he belongs in that mix. And a couple of youngsters coming up as well. Billy Joe Saunders, John Ryder. It's a fascinating division. And Anthony Fitzgerald would love to be a part of that as well.
Well, it's not a punch Lee uses an awful lot, but I think the uppercut would be ideal here. The way that Fitzgerald is marching straight forward, the straight little left hand there works. But he's marching straight forward with no head movement, with the elbows in nice and tight, so some uppercuts I think would pay some dividends. But Lee, really, I think he should be standing his ground a little bit more and trying to meet this fella head on and push him back. Now that's better.
Fitzgerald continuing to try and hunt Lee down. And Lee again just digging into the body. That was borderline. No complaint from Fitzgerald.
I mean, it's a terrific effort from Fitzgerald. They're putting everything he has into this, just marching through. But the shots that he's been forced to take undeterred. So really playing his part here.
Looking around, a couple of rights to the body as well, Lee, as he starts to mix it up. Just tries to continue this wearing down process. And Fitzgerald continues to look, but continues to get punished when he does. The problem Fitzgerald has got, for all his aggression and toughness, he's not known as a particularly big puncher. Doesn't seem to be able to make a dent in Andy Lee at all. A lot of pressure being applied here, and his supporters are loving it, and a couple are getting through here. A lot of punches being thrown, and Fitzgerald is giving it everything he's got and asking some serious questions of Andy Lee.
Well, I just wonder if Andy Lee was a little bit too proud to grab hold there and turn him and get himself out of the corner. He wanted to stand and trade, but he come off second in that exchange. A great effort there from Fitzgerald. Tremendous.
And a good straight left hand as well. Just rocks Fitzgerald. He shakes his head and says, no, it didn't bother me. And again, the quality punches coming from Andy Lee, but that barrage from Fitzgerald, certainly not everything was getting through. But he threw so many punches. And just the sheer volume had an effect. What a great effort from Fitzgerald, who celebrates like he's just won a world title. In the other corner, Adam Booth and Andy Lee don't look overly impressed or concerned.
He kind of shot a little bolt in that corner. You let him build up that momentum because you didn't break it quickly. Okay? But he was more hurt from that than you were, because when he broke out, he was struggling to breathe, and the body shots then killed him. He did nothing for the rest of the round. Up close, you know you're good enough there now. You've got to flow and free it up quickly. Okay? Don't be tight with it. Close up and free it quickly. There's nothing to say when you're long, because everything you're doing long is dominating him.
Not even. Well, what an effort that was from Fitzgerald. That was tremendous. That'll give him a little bit of confidence. And he raised his arms at the end of the round. He knew he'd made for the first pack a real impact. Lee doing the wrong things here with his experience. He should have tied Fitzgerald up, got him out of there and started all over again. Maybe he was a little bit too proud to do that.
It's a very entertaining middleweight scrap, this. Round 4 of this 10-rounder. Andy Lee, the former world title challenger, the former Kronk Detroit gym man, the guy that was tutored and mentored by the great Emmanuel Stewart. Well, he's got his hands full here with an Anthony Fitzgerald, who obviously realises he's got a chance to really make a name for himself here. But has he got the skill set to trouble Lee? Lee seems to be happy boxing on the back foot, doesn't mind being up against the ropes or even in a corner.
Yeah, some nice cute boxing here at the moment from Andy Lee, but I think he's going to have to gain this fella's respect a little bit more. The body shots will work behind the elbow. I mean, he's facing a man marching forward with a tight defence. Now there he's tried the uppercut. I feel that's the punch. But what a tremendous effort from Fitzgerald.
A sense here that Fitzgerald is starting to slow down a little bit. Some of these hurtful shots that Lee has been punching in might start to be having an effect, and don't forget he put in that huge effort, and you heard Adam Booth between rounds there saying, you know what, that hurt him more than it hurt you, because although he put in all that effort, nothing really bothered Lee too much, so he'll have taken a lot out of himself with that, and definitely a sense that he's slowed a little bit here. Now can Lee capitalise?
Well, I think Lee is realising he's seen pretty much what Fitzgerald has. He's coped with it so far, but I still feel he should be marching forward, meeting him in the centre of the ring a little bit more often, as opposed to be backing off and countering.
Again, a punishing looking left to the body from Andy Lee. Fitzgerald there to be hit though, and not a lot in terms of work from him in this round. He's willing and game, but he's getting picked off here. And just the sense, as we get down to the last 30 seconds or so of this round, that Lee's finally got this fella under control.
Yeah, there's maybe not the same intensity from Fitzgerald, but still trying to pour them out.
Well, you've got to give him 10 out of 10 for his effort here, Fitzgerald, because just as I was saying, he's got him under control. He launched another one of those assaults. It was crude, and I'm not sure how effective it was. And caught again with another one of those left hands, as Lee just continues to pick him off pretty much at will.
Give it little movements and go back to it, okay?
Be in your hips.
Adam Booth dishing out
level,
the instructions.
Have to go up and down with intensity. And mentally
Street impressed with what he's hearing.
Okay.
There is certainly calm intelligence from Adam Booth.
Now, your challenge for this round.
He's not a screamer or a shouter.
Punish him and let him know, and then for the rest of the round, flow and pick and go back to the game. Okay.
Seconds out. Round 5.
As they come out for the start of round 5, let's see if Fitzgerald can find a second wind. It was Lee that was just breathing a little bit heavily there as we were getting ready for the bell. Well, he's been out since June, since that defeat against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when he put in such a great effort, only to get worn down.
That was nice from Lee. A little bit of leverage into the right hook there. But this is better. He's not been pushed back to the ropes quite so much. I feel it has to maybe claim the centre of the ring, at least meet Fitzgerald head on. That's better again. Stand his ground and use the quality and the experience that he has. Definitely a dip in the work rate from Fitzgerald.
And that's the problem he's had, because even when he was working so hard, a lot of his effort was wasted as Lee covered up, blocked. Nice double up of the jab there, and both of them got through from Fitzgerald. And Lee needs to find a response. And here's Lee in the neutral corner again. And Fitzgerald's supporters are loving this. But what kind of damage can he do in there? A bit of a telling off from Steve Gray.
Yeah, but I think Fitzgerald's quite right to try and manhandle and rough him up. It's worth a little warning here and there from the referee.
Oh, he's going first again then, Fitzgerald with the left hand.
This is good stuff from Fitzgerald.
And it's Lee that seems to have taken a bit of a step back here. There he is, Lee trying to work that uppercut. That didn't get through. But whether Fitzgerald has upped the work rate or Lee has just taken a breather here, or a combination of the two, he's got himself right back in this, the Dubliner.
I think the problem is Lee, the fact that he's volunteering to move back, he's allowing this fella to find some momentum in his boxing, and really he's putting a dent in Lee in this round. This is good stuff.
Trying to slide out of the way of that straight right, Andy Lee. Oh, he's breathing hard, Jim, you know.
Well, it has been forced to work under pressure right from the first bell. Fitzgerald's never left him alone, but this is the first time I've seen him really looking uncomfortable. So at the time when Adam Booth was looking for Lee to start taking charge, I think maybe the opposite has happened. You know, he's a little dip.
Well, I certainly thought in that last round that the balance of power had shifted completely in Lee's favour, and then Fitzgerald has come right back at him here in this round. And has probably, for me, Jim, done enough work rate-wise to take that one.
Yep, and he really seems quite happy with himself after that round. Untitled Chapter.
Okay, walk him down. Anto, he doesn't like it in his stomach, because every time you get close, what does he do? He drops down. But walk when he drops down. Don't let him settle there. When he drops down, you just keep walking. You have to throw more combinations. Your jab is walking over. You have to go to
Sutcliffe, the old Olympian, Irish Olympian, dishing out the instructions.
See, Lee has allowed Fitzgerald to come forward in every round. When the reflexes were good, the timing was good, he was outboxing him, he was landing better punches. But I think the pace is maybe getting to him now. Breathing heavily. Yep, this is really good stuff from Fitzgerald.
Well, that tweet from Reece Booker saying thought this was going to be a cakewalk. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought this was going to be a cakewalk. Big credit to Anthony Fitzgerald for making it interesting and entertaining. Round 6, most experts said it would have been done by now. Andy Lee needs to find a response here, just to put Fitzgerald back in his place. And again with the left hand, and trying to do it again there, but the elbow getting down from Fitzgerald just to block that off. And again, here goes Fitzgerald, and he's finding Lee with a little bit more regularity here. A couple of decent body shots getting through.
But this is where Lee should be doing business, out in the centre of the ring, not being pushed back to the ropes, where he can be manhandled and bullied and roughed up. Well, a little chat from both men, but probably Fitzgerald is the one who's maybe committing the fouls, and we can't blame him.
There's Fitzgerald looking to work the body again. Lee looking to try and get that jab going. Oh, big swinging right hand. His whistle past the chops of Andy Lee. Might just have got a bit of it. But again, it's Fitzgerald that's looking to set the pace here, and Lee is being forced to box this one at the tempo that Fitzgerald is setting. And you can hear a lot of talking that is coming from Adam Booth in the corner, who was pretty quiet in the early rounds, but is much more involved in the last couple of rounds, and a smile there from Fitzgerald. He's really enjoying himself in there, Jim.
Yeah, well, his plan's working. I mean, whether or not he's landing enough punches to make a real impression, I don't know about that, but I mean, this is the plan. He came in with this one good body shot there from Lee. I think Fitzgerald felt that one, and you saw him pulling a little face, but undeterred, he keeps pushing himself forward.
Just digs in again and says, right, let's have a bit more of this. Into the final minute of round 6. There we are, back in the neutral corner again. Lee spent a lot of time in those neutral corners one way and another. And that was a little bit naughty, but got away with it. He's pouring a little bit of blood on the left eye there, I think, Fitzgerald. Bit of cut to the side. Short punches from Lee. They got through.
Yeah, we're still seeing some nice, cute boxing from Andy Lee, but I feel the tactics have been wrong. And for far too long in this fight, I think he's allowed himself to be pushed back, and this has been a real struggle from the first bell. He's been forced to work every second, and still a terrific effort from Fitzgerald.
Shake of the head from Fitzgerald. Another round in the bank. Smiles all round. And Adam Booth having a word with Steve Gray, and all sorts of stuff going on in there now. And the fans really enjoying this, and I think everyone enjoying the effort that Anthony Fitzgerald is putting into this.
Watch his head. Do you understand? Watch his head. Right, breathe in. Right. Listen up. Now listen up. You have to up the pace. That's his round. Do you understand? You have to up the pace.
Well, that's going to be tough, because Fitzgerald has really set a high tempo right from the start.
Yeah, but it hasn't stopped. I mean, it's been just a huge effort right from the opening bell. He hasn't stopped coming forward. And I tell you, if one guy here is world class, another one is pretty far from that, you would never believe it. Well, the action we're looking at here, okay, Lee's boxing is cuter, the punches are cleaner, but he has been made to work for every second.
Well, can he find yet another gear here, Anthony Fitzgerald, and really make this even more interesting than it is already? Andy Lee in the red, the world-rated middleweight, number 7 with the WBC, number 9 with the WBA, being given all he can handle here by 27-year-old Dubliner Anthony Fitzgerald, who has never mixed in the kind of company that Lee's been operating with. Look at him, really hungry. And that's the interesting thing for me, Jim, that so far in this fight, although he had that little dip there in the 4th round when he just took a bit of a breather, Fitzgerald, I've never seen Lee really hurt him. Maybe the odd body shot here and there, but he's managed to recover Fitzgerald if he has been hurt.
I think that's a big problem for Lee. I mean, the fact that Fitzgerald has come forward every single round, he's pushing Lee's body weight back, so there's not enough power in the shots. Lee should have been out in the centre of the ring, getting the punches off early, not countering, and this has been a real struggle because of that.
Trying to keep him at bay with that left hand. That's not doing any work. I just wonder if Lee's really starting to feel this. He's digging deep. He's being asked a lot of questions. I don't think he was expecting this, Andy Lee. Not this tough.
Well, I mean, the thing is, this is Fitzgerald's world title fight. I mean, this is the biggest, chance of his career, and he's really going for it. Couldn't put any more into this.
Low body shot going in. Now I wonder what Darren Barker's making of all this. Martin Murray, I'm sure, is watching. Matthew Macklin will be across it. Andy Lee's sent them his warning that he's back. Well, I wonder if they're too bothered with what they've seen so far. To set a bit of context here, Jim, Lee's winning this fight, and he's the cuter boxer. I think you used that word. But there isn't the gulf. We were expecting a gulf in class between them, and that we are not seeing tonight.
No, we can't call it a world-class performance from Lee. It's noticeable in the second half of the rounds that he's landing more often. So I think Fitzgerald is using up so much steam. But the commitment is shown. I mean, you can't fault that. And here he comes again.
And it's a good little spell. He was first off after the break as Lee was looking a little bit weary, and it's terrific work again from Fitzgerald. Lee picks him off with a little short left, but the pressure stays on. Nice little inside uppercut there from Fitzgerald, and Lee's wobbled, I think.
A lot of good work again from Fitzgerald in this round.
He just looked a bit unsteady on his feet for a second there, Andy Lee.
I think he's struggling with the pressure. I mean, he's been under pressure every second, and the signs are now it's getting to him.
And look who's got the momentum. Lee walks back with a wry smile.
The left hand to the chest, not the right hook round the side, then close on them. Okay?
Well, Adam Booth's still the voice of calm in there, but the last 2 or 3 rounds have not been special for Andy Lee. Far from it.
You've got 9 minutes. Take as
Corners, 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, he's certainly lost his composure in the last couple of rounds, and this Fitzgerald's digging in uppercuts now. I mean, what Fitzgerald put into this is commendable.
Well, his stock will rise whatever happens from here, Anthony Fitzgerald. Andy Lee, who brings so much class, just those 2 defeats, one against Julio Cesar Chavez, one 6 years ago against Brian Vera, which he avenged in some style. We saw that one, Jim. But Lee is being made to work for everything he's getting here against Fitzgerald, who's really piling it in again. And he's answered that call for a greater work rate. And he is testing Andy Lee's heart as much as anything else right now.
I mean, this is terrific stuff from Fitzgerald. I mean, he's blowing up at himself here. I think he used up a lot of steam in that little exchange. Now he's been pinned by the jab from Lee. Lee is trying to regain the composure he had in the earlier part of the fight. So Fitzgerald just looking a little bit flat-footed at the moment.
There's the jab again. It's just as well for Andy Lee that he put those first 4 rounds in the bank, because Fitzgerald has found another gear the longer this fight has gone on. All smiles again. A lot of respect in that ring. If Andy Lee didn't respect Anthony Fitzgerald before, he certainly does now.
See, as the pace is slowing, Fitzgerald has been caught more clean with the shots. That next little uppercut there. That's the punch that Lee should have been using 3 or 4 rounds ago. This fella's marching straight onto that.
And he set him up with a couple of body shots as well, Jim. Real intelligent boxing there from Lee. Oh, he's getting the jab going again.
Yeah, I think Fitzgerald's just driving himself now. I don't know if there's a lot left in the tank. He's just put so much into this. It's been a terrific effort.
Yeah, you do get the sense that Fitzgerald has put so much into this. How much more has he got left? He's still coming forward, but getting picked off and punished more.
Well, I mean, it's amazing he's always first to step right back up to resume the action. Lee would love a little breather, but Fitzgerald not allowing it. Oh, lovely shot.
He heard you, Jim. Use the uppercut. Dug in a left to the body as well, but still Fitzgerald keeps on rumbling. But the quality now is coming from Andy Lee, clearly. And that was the best round he's had in quite a while, and no showboating from Fitzgerald as he walks back to his corner. He's been playing to the crowd earlier, not this time.
We have to work him harder. That's his round. Don't let him steal it. Round 9. Right, round 9. Right, round 9.
Yeah, well, you can see Fitzgerald just a little bit more open now than he was earlier on in the fight. Just the signs of tiredness. And that's the uppercut there I've been calling for since the early stages.
Staying sharp.
So maybe the experience over the longer distance.
Shots, do you understand?
It's with Lee now.
A mental fight to see how much you can get out of it. He is absolutely gone. He's got about a minute left in him.
Every time there's a break, walk to him, brother. Walk to him because you're too quick.
Well, no sign of panic at all from Adam Booth. He's seeing, well, I think a lot of people are seeing that Fitzgerald has put an awful lot into this, but might not have too much left. Round 9, just one more after this. Now, will Lee go for the finish? Or will he just be happy to see this one out? Or will Fitzgerald surprise us again? Oh, a bit of tapers come loose on the left glove. And Fitzgerald. So that'll give him a little bit more breathing room. And they're taking their time finding the scissors here as well, his corner. But he is boxing on instinct here, isn't he, Fitzgerald? Catching another one of those lefts to the body. They've been there all night for Andy Lee. Looking weary. I mean, that was more tiredness than anything else from Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I think referee Gray, you know, he's been pretty lenient with Fitzgerald, and I think he deserves that, because he has been roughing Lee up in every round. But of course, you can't blame him for that. But he's a more stationary target more often now.
Still, Lee can't get a shot of him and get him completely under control. What's it going to take? Nice little uppercut from Fitzgerald, just sneaked in there and followed up with the right hand. Another big effort from Fitzgerald. Oh, yes, Lee's turn to stop and think about things. It's a good little spell that from Fitzgerald. And Lee not stepping up his game at all. I thought maybe he'd start going through the gears a little bit. He's on his left hand.
I don't feel Lee has come forward often enough in this fight tonight, and I think that's what's made it so tough for him. The momentum so often has been with Fitzgerald.
Once again, there they are in a corner. Lee backed up, slipping most of that work. Nothing too clean landing from Fitzgerald for all that effort. And again, Lee continuing just to pep away at the body, mixing it up with the odd uppercut here and there. Out comes the jab again. When there is flow from Andy Lee, you can see why he's world class, but Fitzgerald just hasn't allowed him to settle into any kind of rhythm at all.
No, Fitzgerald hasn't allowed him to shine. This is a big night for Lee. He's homecoming, but he hasn't really been allowed to shine.
Well, I'm sure he didn't think it was going to be easy coming back onto this side of the Atlantic. He certainly found out that, if anything, he's got a big bullseye on his face here, Andy Lee, when he comes over here, because he's the guy with the big reputation. And there's a lot of middleweights that would love to take him down. I don't know anybody that thought Anthony Fitzgerald would be pushing him this hard. Nobody at all. Most people thought by the midway point Lee's class would have been a difference maker. And here we are. We're going into the last round and Lee's still got to work to try and get this fella out of his face.
You can only lose it now. He can't win it. He's composed to you. That's fine. Keep your composure, very good.
We're seeing a lot of that from Anthony Fitzgerald, no question about that. It's a real gutsy effort.
And then all of a sudden,
giving it everything he's got.
But once you
What a
get
good
that
night
sharp
we've got to look
counter,
forward to as
step
well.
off
Carl
and then
Frampton,
dominate the rest of the round.
Kiko Martinez, our main event. Lee Selby and Martin Lindsay up next. British and Commonwealth featherweight titles on the line. Good night of boxing from Belfast. And a surprisingly good start, and all the credit for that goes to this fella, Anthony Fitzgerald, who has given it everything he's got against the world-class Andy Lee. And here he is, still standing, as we hear the bell for the 10th and final round. I guess we shouldn't be too critical of the Lee, Jim. I mean, I think he's done enough to win that. I don't think there's any much debate about that. But here he is. He's under new management. He's had to relocate as well. He's coming off that defeat, so we can't expect a vintage performance. He'll just be happy, I think, to take the win. But even so, Jim, I think it's been harder than he was expecting.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. I just feel he got his tactics wrong for so long in the fight. You know, boxing on the back foot right from the opening bell. I mean, he could have done that to have a look at Fitzgerald, but the obvious thing for me was to stop the march forward of Fitzgerald, and you would take away so much of what he has, but he was never able to do that. I suppose we've got to give Fitzgerald a bit of credit for that also.
Absolutely. Andy Lee was always boxed at the highest level, boxed in the Olympics. A really good amateur, terrific pride, those 15 straight wins before running into Brian Vera. Rebuilt himself so well after that. Acquitted himself well against Julio Cesar Chavez before he was just overwhelmed by a bigger opponent. And here, as he reinvents himself on this side of the Atlantic, Anthony Fitzgerald, who nobody gave much hope to before this one started, has certainly asked him an awful lot of questions. And Lee would just be happy to hear that final bell and get out of here, I think. His debut in Belfast might well be a winning one, but it certainly hasn't been an easy one.
See, he's coming forward now, and you can see the impact in his punches. Why has it taken so long to decide to get the weight onto the front foot and get some touches onto the punches? Too often he was on his heels, not enough stopping the shots. Now, in the last round here, he's decided to come forward. The tape coming off again, yeah.
This time it's Fitzgerald who looks a bit frustrated at that. He wanted to just carry on down to the last minute of what has been a terrific middleweight scrap. Fitzgerald has been playing to the crowd. He certainly hasn't let his supporters down. And look at him still now saying, come on, let's give it some. Lee with a smile as if to say, I know I've got this one. I'm not playing your game. You say, why hasn't he come forward, Jim? One of the reasons for that is Fitzgerald has barely taken a backward step from first bell to last.
Yeah, as I'm saying, you have to give him an awful lot of credit for that. But they've been so long in the fight where he opted to go onto the back foot to try to outbox him. And I think it's made this a real tough night for him. Because that's exactly what it's been. This has been tough.
It really has. Lee's going to get the decision. He certainly put the first 4 rounds in the bank, but Anthony Fitzgerald's stock will have gone up enormously after this. A really good, entertaining 10-round scrap. And a real bonus as well. We weren't expecting this. We thought it would be a one-way street. Far from it. And I think those two enjoyed it as well. Real good spirit, lots of smiles, lots of respect. Fitzgerald, as we said he would, is playing to the crowd, and why not? He deserves this night. It's a great effort. But Jim, on my card, Lee's done enough.
Yeah, the classier boxing, the better punch picking. But I mean, it was a struggle all the way through. He was forced to work under pressure. There was times when the pressure got to him. There were high points in Fitzgerald's performance. Didn't have the accuracy. For sheer guts and effort, he can't be faulted, but I just don't think he had the accuracy that was required. Lee was just that little bit cuter, more experienced. But what a terrific fight to start us off tonight.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. After 10 rounds of boxing, referee Steve Gray has scored this contest for Fitzgerald 94 points, for Andy Lee 98 points. Your winner from Limerick, Andy Lee.
It looks like a man who's been in a bit of a battle, doesn't he, Andy Lee? Returning to Ireland following that world title fight. And he's made to work hard. If the rest of the night is anything like that, we are in for a real treat this fight night live from Belfast. Up next, Lee Selby from Wales against Martin Lindsay from Belfast. Lee Selby, British and Commonwealth featherweight champion, defending his British title for the second time. His Commonwealth strap for the third time. Will he be heading home with those titles as he enters the Lion's Den? A hostile reception guaranteed. Despite of a 9-month layoff, Selby on a bit of a roll. He's top 5 of the last 6. He's growing in stature time and time again. Believes he has the power to hurt Lindsay, to put a dent in his confidence and wear him down. He's quick on the outside too, uses plenty of movement. He is a real talent, but I need to show all that talent and more against the former British champion, Martin Lindsay, from here in Belfast with home advantage. Okay, Andy Lee celebrating a victory. He's talking to Ed Robinson.
Well, Andy, your first fight since last June. You met an inspired Anthony Fitzgerald. How do you feel you performed on the homecoming?
Not to my best, but in saying that, he was very spirited, and you have to give him credit. He was very determined. You know, a big crowd come here and they give him great support, and he rose to the occasion. I boxed okay in spurts, showed some bits, but it was a good, nice 10 rounds. You know, I mean, I'll take something from it. But you know, it's a long time. First time with Adam, we're still getting used to each other. No excuses. I won the fight, and I'll keep moving forward.
Obviously, you've had to deal with the death of your long-term mentor, Emmanuel Stewart, and the loss against Julio Cesar Chavez last June. How tough has the past few months been?
Tough, but it's a sign of a man, you know, how he reacts when he's down. And I decided to change everything about my career, the way I was working. I identified Adam Booth as the best trainer around, someone who I'd always admired, and I came to him, and I've been lucky enough that he'd work with me. And we're working hard, and we're trying to make improvements. I like to have a look at the video and see some of the things. I'm sure I won't be happy when I watch it, but it's been tough losing Emmanuel. He'll always be with me. I'll never forget everything he did with me. And every day he's in my mind and my thoughts, but got to keep moving forward. You know, life goes on.
Adam Booth, how do you assess that performance?
Well, I assess it when I watch it on tape, but we know what we're working on, and I definitely saw elements of that. Like you said, it's been a really difficult year, and he's dealt with it showing nothing. You know, he's dealt with it really well. I'm pleased with the things that he did technically in there tonight, and as far as I'm concerned, there's progression, and I'm just looking forward to the next one now.
Andy, who do you want next? Are you looking for Darren Barker?
Yeah, Barker. Let's get it on. You got the same promoter. He was good enough to put me on the show. Thank you, Eddie Hearn. Thank you, Ludabella. And let's get it on. This is your network, Sky. This is your baby, and I'm going to upset you. So let's have a go. You know, he's a good friend of mine, Darren. I know his dad very well, and I knew his brother. God rest him. And there's no bad blood, but we'll have a good fight.
Good to have you back.